Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Black LT channel. Guys, I'm here to report some very sad news. It appears that remains have been found in the Kada Scott missing persons case. So, remains have been found. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the article on it. Human remains found behind abandoned school amid search for Kada Scott, Philadelphia police say. So, let's go ahead and listen.
Just want to give you an update on the case regarding 23-year-old Kada Scott, who went missing on October 4th. A little bit of a somber and grateful moment here right now. Based on tips that have come in over the past few days, as we called on earlier this week, asking for the public to provide any information, any tips, and the public has been fantastic in providing tips and information, and we greatly appreciate that. But based on a tip that came in last night through the night, investigators began the process of following up on that tip this morning, starting around 10 o'clock this morning, following up on that tip. And the tip was very specific that led us back to this location here today, which you all know we were out here earlier in the week doing a little bit of a search. And so based on the investigative information, based on the investigation and what they were following up on that tip today, led us back to this area behind the school, where it's a wooded area. I don't know if any of you have been back there, but it's a wooded area that goes beyond the school. And so we begin to go back into that area where we will locate a shallow grave after being able to remove some of the debris back there, able to locate the body of a human being. All indications at this point is that it's a female. We are not going to confirm at this point that it is Miss Kada Scott, because that has to be done by the medical examiner's office. But we have been in communication with her family as to this process and the fact that we have recovered a human being. And so at this point, it's still a lot of work to be done. I'll be very candid that we can't answer but so many questions. We're not going to get into the investigation at this point because we want to make sure that all of the pieces to this are done correctly and that we don't put out information ahead of time. Because we want the people and the person that we have in custody and anybody else that may be involved in this, we want them held accountable to the highest degree of the law for what they have done. And so I just want that to be clear as to why we will not get into specific details. And so that's where we're at this point. Still a lot of work, but I must say a lot of work has been done around this case. As you know, we've been searching, have done multiple searches. We shut down the police academy. That was a decision made by myself and Commissioner Bethel to shut down the police academy over a week ago, where we brought out the entire group of recruits to comb through this area. Again, so I know, listen, no one is happy that this is the ending, and completely understand that this is a lot on our investigators, a lot on all of us, because again, we all have family members, and this could have been any one of our family members. It could be anybody's family member, and that's understood. And that's the reason that you see that the tireless work has been done by starting with Northwest Detectives, and then by homicide, by our partners through the FBI, through our forensics office, through any and everybody that has been a part of this process, because we wanted to bring some level of closure to this family. And so, again, we're going to wait until we have official confirmation on, as the medical examiner is going to do their process, and then we will bring that confirmation. But that's where we are right now. Again, I can't reiterate enough how much we appreciate, tips and information that have come in from the public. I still will urge the public that if you have any information, anything that you think is related to this, continue to give us that information via 215-686-TIPS. Still continue to give us that information because, again, we don't know if there are other individuals that have been a victim of this individual that we have in custody. And so we just want that to be clear, that please continue to provide that information if you have anything. But that's where we are at this point. I would also ask you to continue to pray for Ms. Scott's family.
What's the process of getting that official confirmation on whether it's her?
Well, at this point now, we're on the medical examiner's timeline, and so they will, the body will be recovered and transported to the medical examiner's office, and then they will go through their process methodically to ensure that, again, everything is done right. There is a court case that has to come behind this, and that's what I just want to be clear. I know sometimes it seems like the information is not coming fast enough, but we have a job to Ms. Scott. We have a job to her family. Again, if this is confirmed that this is her, to ensure that we are doing everything in the proper way to make sure that the individuals are held accountable. And so we don't want to do anything to compromise that. And so that's why we will be on their timeline. Once we get confirmation, then we will give that to you all and be able to move forward with that process.
This area was combed earlier this week. I'm wondering why it took until now for the remains to be found.
Have you ever been in the woods of any any location?
I'm from Appalachia.
Okay, and so then you can understand that it's not an easy process. And when you know that you're looking for something, but don't know where someone hid it, it's not that easy of a process. And so we were here, we were on the other side. We had plans to do some additional searches as the weekend concluded, as well as going into next week. And so the area where we were back here. We were back here. And our dogs were back here. Officers were back here. Again, there is a lot of wooded area. And so we're grateful today that we're here. Make no mistake about it, if we had located the body yesterday, this in terms of
Oh my God, my heart
this
breaks.
discovery would
That's
not.
her family.
This person has been deceased for a few days, and so for some time. I'm not going to say how many days, but this didn't just happen yesterday. And so, yeah, we did a lot of work. And again, I'm proud of the men and women in this organization that have, been doing the work to try to locate Ms. Scott. And again, in our minds, we know this was a possible reality, and here we are, unfortunately.
Oh my God, that
There's a
crime
timeline of what?
was very emotional.
When she went missing and how long it looks like.
As I said, I am not going to get into any of the investigative process because I don't want to mess up this case. And I don't want anyone picking apart what we say and trying to create a defense. I want to make sure that we do our jobs in the most diligent way. We give the district attorney's office an opportunity to do their job in the most diligent way, and that we get a prosecution on this incident here. And so I'm not going to get into any parts of the investigation, not out of disrespect, but just simply because I want to make sure that the person we have in custody and anybody else that was involved in this, that they are held accountable the way that they should be. And so that's why I'm not getting into the specifics of the case.
The specific tip that came in, could you get into more detail about what was specific about it? Is it in location and was it from a community member?
I won't get into the specifics. It's an anonymous tip that came in through our tip line, as we have been asking for. But it was very specific as to detailing us and directing us to a specific location in the wooded area, going back to your question, a very specific location that narrowed it down. Don't know who the tip is from, but grateful that the individual submitted the tip that brought us back here to this location this morning.
Just the last question. Forget the cursing and the yelling at you guys. It just shows that there's passion behind this. What do you want to say about the passion of the community? They were out here, as you know, last night searching as well. Just your thoughts on just the community's involvement in this case.
Listen, I am not offended by the passion that some of the remarks that have been made as we were walking back. I'm not offended at all, because that's people's emotion, and this is an emotional situation, and so it's to be understood. However, I know what we have done, in the amount of hours that have been put into this process of trying to locate Ms. Scott. I know the work that has been done to bring the individual in the custody that we have in custody, and I know the work that these investigators will continue to do to ensure that we wrap this case up and that we do everything to hold the people accountable in the proper way. And so listen, we can't be upset at that. I mean, that's emotion. If that was my family member or if I was someone I knew, I would have the same level of emotion. And listen, to be quite frank about it, the reason I go through the steps of what we have done is because not every community member, they don't know that we shut down the police academy to bring 300 recruits up here to go searching through an area. They don't know that. They don't know that We had teams of dogs from New Jersey State Police come into Philadelphia to help us in the search process. They don't know that. And so it's my job to make sure that I express that, so they know that this police department, we took this case serious. We take every case serious, but the work that's been done, to again, bring this to some conclusion. Is this the conclusion that we wanted? Absolutely not. But at this point now, we have to do everything in our power to ensure that we bring justice for this family, and some level of closure. And so, to answer that, no, it's understandable. Listen, that passion you need, because that's also the passion that helps you drive in the tips. That's the passion that gets you to have the support from the community, and getting the information that we got. And so it's understandable.
Could we hear from the ADA as well?
Absolutely.
Once and if it is confirmed that this is Kada, what does this mean for King?
It means that we do our job. It means that we take everything that we know, we take everything that we found out today, we let the MEs do what they do, and then everything will come to us and we'll make the determination of whether we add additional charges.
And what would those additional charges be?
Once we hear from the ME, I'll have a better answer on that. Obviously, we're like you said, we're going in order. Right now, we're on to the ME. They're going to do their investigation. As soon as we hear from them, it'll guide us in what we do.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. So it's obvious that she passed away the same night that she was abducted. Okay. It sounds like
If you want to become a specialist,
sorry about that. It sounds like this was a very, very specific tip. Okay. And so I am hoping that if these accomplices were involved, that they are held accountable. Also, if you remember when I reported earlier, I reported that a young lady said that one of her friends, that Keon had told one of her friends what he had did. Now, whether or not he told the friend that there was a body or where that body was, we do not know. They have not identified her as of yet, but they are saying that the remains have been there for a couple of days. Okay. So human remains have been found amid the search for missing Philadelphia woman Kada Scott. Police says Saturday the discovery was made behind an abandoned school near Arboretum in Germantown, and area that was the focus of an intensive search on Wednesday. If you guys recall, okay, in that Instagram or TikTok, I can't remember, y'all have to go back and look at the first video where that girl mentioned that her friend, she didn't want to see behind what building, and I think this is why. Okay, it could have possibly been her friend that actually placed in the tip. First Deputy Commissioner John Stanford said a very specific anonymous tip came in overnight and officers were back out on the scene around 10 a.m. this morning. The remains, which Stanford said appeared to be those of a female, were found in a shallow grave in a heavily wooded area. So again, they are not even mentioning the ethnicity, okay? The remains were removed from the scene by late afternoon. The remains are now being handled by the medical examiner's office, which will also handle identifying the person who was found. It looks like this is the area that is in question. That helicopter was getting on my nerve with all that noise. But it looks like this is the area, and they might have held on to the information that they had found her this morning because they wanted to be able to remove that body before family members came out. Okay. Stanford said investigators have been in touch with the Scott family. We have been in communication with the family as to this process and the fact that we have recovered human remains. So it sounds like the family actually arrived. Some of them arrived at the time that they were doing this press conference, because that holler out that somebody did was unbearable. Honey, sources say police found physical evidence at the scene during Wednesday's search, including Scott's debit card and a phone case. Police say tips had been flooding in after they announced the arrest of 21-year-old Keon King of Southwest Philadelphia, who authorities say was the last person in contact with Scott. King has been arrested and charged with kidnapping and other offenses in connection with the Scott's disappearance. So as of now, it looks like these charges are going to be more. They're probably going to go up the ante of the charges, definitely, once the coroner is done their job. Police are still, let's see.
Disappearance of Kada Scott, who vanished nearly 2 weeks ago in Philadelphia. Faith Abube is here with the latest, including a chilling new video that's this morning that's now part of the investigation. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Michael. That video was posted on TikTok. A woman claiming it shows a man trying to break into her house. Police telling ABC News that they believe that the man you're about to see in that video is the suspect, now charged with kidnapping Kada Scott.
Bye. Keanu here.
This morning, police investigating this video showing who they believe to be Keon King, the suspect connected to the disappearance of 23-year-old nursing assistant Kada Scott, a man seen peeking through the window from outside in the yard. It's unclear when or where this video was taken. Now, the race against time to find Scott, who police say vanished mid-shift while working at this assisted living facility in Philadelphia nearly 2 weeks ago.
We need to find Miss Scott, figure out where she is, or what may have happened to her to cause her to completely disappear from all her items, her phone.
Authorities say they believe Scott was last in contact with 21-year-old King, arrested and charged with kidnapping and recklessly endangering another person, and is being held on a $2.5 million bail. Investigators say before Scott disappeared, she told relatives she was being harassed, though it has yet to be determined if the person harassing her was King. But officials say their suspect does have a pattern of similar crimes.
He did have a previous case. It was a 2025 case for very similar conduct, strangulation and kidnapping. That case had been withdrawn by our office based on the witness failing to appear at court. I pulled that file, and after an extensive review of it, our office made the decision to refile those charges.
Investigators relying on tips from the public, crediting one of those tips with helping to find the suspect's car. Scott's family not giving up hope, urging anyone with information to speak up.
If you have any information, small, large, minuscule, please reach out to the Philadelphia Police Department and let them know that may be the piece that they're looking for. We all miss her. We want her home.
And again, that suspect is facing kidnapping charges. Even as police continue looking for Kada, he's being held on a $2.5 million bond. He has not entered a plea, but guys, we've reached out to his attorney for comment.
Yeah, hopefully they can get some answers very soon.
Okay, guys, so police were still working to determine how King and Scott knew each other, but they believe the pair
Concert, and we're told that no two shows are exactly the same. That's cool. Go see it.
So they do not believe that she knew him for a long period of time. Before her disappearance, Scott had told people that she was being harassed, but it was unclear if King was the person allegedly harassing her. Scott vanished the night of Saturday, October 4th, after leaving her workplace, an assisted living facility in Chestnut Hill. King is being held on a $2.5 million bail. King is also facing charges in what officials call a similar case from earlier this year, in which a woman was allegedly kidnapped and strangled but survived. Those charges were dropped when the accuser failed to appear in court, but will now be refiled. The accuser is saying that she was not notified. That is the only reason why she didn't show up in court. Okay? She's saying that she was not notified. Those charges that were dropped are now being refiled. In the first case, the prosecutor said King kidnapped a woman from in front of her house, threw her in the car, assaulted her, and eventually let her out. Okay, and this is why I keep saying I think Kada really went to go to that vehicle, speak to him, but he ended up overpowering her and getting her into that vehicle unbeknownst her own will. We could have done better in that. A really sophisticated approach to the case would have been to try to put it all in the video evidence, he said. The incident was captured in a viral video. Investigators say it shows King peering through and knocking on the windows while a person inside yells to call the police and for him to go away. Karshner noted King being out on bail as a reason why the victim didn't appear in court. The reason they had to worry he was going to come out of the same door they went in the courthouse right after they testified against him is because he was on bail. King was able to post 10% of the $200,000, which that was $20,000, and they say he was able to post it really quick. When asked why the DA's office didn't petition for a higher bail, Kirshner said it was a strategic decision not to bother judges overnight. You have the option of trying to do what is often midnight or 3 o'clock in the morning. Appeal to municipal court judge. The unfortunate reality of this is that some, but not all of those judges don't want you calling them in the middle of the night. And if you do, they lower the bail. They don't raise it. They don't leave it. They lower it. So it always a complex strategic decision. Marty Rowick, a spokesperson for the court, said in response, with all due respect, the DA and the staff know there are assigned municipal and commons pleas court judges on call 24/7 and prepared to any hour to address emergency court matters. In light of this truth, the DA's comments are appealingly disrespectful and a sad attempt on his part to find a scapegoat for his own feelings on this matter. So again, she has been found allegedly. They have not released that information to us yet, as they are waiting, and I believe we all know what they are waiting for. They are waiting for her to be identified. Now, there was a $12,000 reward. My thing is, will the person that actually gave that tip be receiving this $12,000? And I'm saying that is because if this was accomplice, we do not know yet. Okay, we do not know yet if this was actually an accomplice or if this was that person that he had already told, and the person felt now comfortable to come forward because he was indeed now locked up. It seems like this child, this boy, had a lot of people scared of him. Okay, this was somebody that was very dangerous to the community. And with him being dangerous, they did not want to risk their own lives. So again, female human remains have been found in Philadelphia. We do believe it to be Kadia. Okay, we do believe it at this point. Medical examiner's office, we are again working on their time. So I'm pretty sure sometime first thing next week, if not on Sunday or Monday, they're going to want to get in there and positively get her identified because this story is real big. Okay, there's a lot of news coverage around the story, and I am glad that it is. This is very heartbreaking, but I will say that I am very thankful for the Philadelphia Police Department and all of the folks that were involved in this investigation, as so many women and men are going missing out here. We really need to start taking classes, taking courses on how to defend ourselves. You need to start taking pepper spray with you. I mean, it's time for a lot of people to start carrying. You really cannot trust these people. Ladies, don't trust these dudes. You've got to protect yourself. Make sure that you are safe, okay? Philadelphia the police department has done a good job. I know that this is heartbreaking. This is definitely not what we wanted, but lo and behold, we believe that she has been found. Again, this is the wooded area that's in question. I believe they did not mention it because they were already here at 10 a.m. I don't think now it is literally 7:30 on the East Coast. So there is no way that it took them that long to dig the body up. I believe that they were actually waiting to remove that body before family tried to ambush them over there. You can only imagine when you've got somebody in your life that you really care about, somebody that was energetic, somebody that was really proud, family members that were really proud of this individual. They were definitely going to run over there to try see what they can see. And I believe that's why the police kept this as a secret. So again, we are believing that this young lady has been found. Do me a favor, guys. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notification bells. I love you, boos. Mwah. See you soon.